What's going on, everyone? Jason here again, and in this video I'm going to show you how to create a blog homepage using Material UI React. So it's just going to be a static homepage, and we're going to build out this website. So we're going to have a nav bar here, a hero image, also some articles with this style setup. So we have some cards, we have some information for the different blog posts, along with some author information. And I took some inspiration for this design from the LogRocket blog. And so it's a pretty good blog. They have a lot of good stuff on here. So if you want to check it out. And yep, so that's kind of the style inspiration we took. So for this project, it's just going to be mainly focused on getting familiar with Material UI React and how their components work. We'll also make this responsive. So if we make this a responsive for mobile, you can see it stacks well on mobile as well. So that's a project we'll be building, so let's get started. For this project, we'll be using create React app to set up our project. So we'll just do npx create React app, and the name of our app, we'll call it, let's see, Material UI blog. So once that's downloaded, we can cd into our project. We'll cd into Material UI blog, and then we'll run yarn start. Okay, so we have our React project set up. Now let's go into the Material UI documentation on the installation page, and we're going to install a few things. So if we go to our command, let's install or do an npm, and we'll do the yarn add Material UI core, so we'll just do that. And let's see, so we're also going to add some icons, so we'll need this one as well. Run that. And I believe that's all we need for now. So now what we'll do is we'll set up the theming for our project. And so with Material UI React, you can set up your own custom themes. And so all we'll be doing is we'll just be updating some a few styles that comes by default from Material UI React. So if you go to the theming section in the documentation and you go down to, let's see, to this example, what you can do is you'll import this create MUI theme, and then in here you can basically set up your own styles for the palettes and other things as well. And what we'll be using it for is just to update our palette and updating our primary color here. So we're not going to be really customizing it that much, and we don't really need to do it, but I'll just be showing you how to do it as an example in case you want to go further down that road. And so, okay, so let's go ahead and copy this. And inside our directory, we'll be creating a theme.js file. Paste that in there. And then we'll create a theme variable, and then we'll do create MUI theme and invoke it, pass it an object. We'll be updating the palette, and inside the palette we'll access the primary property. We'll be updating that, and we're going to need to pass in this main property as well to update that as well. So the color we'll be using will be this hex value, so it'll be 764ABC. And also we'll update the background and give this a default of white. So that's the hex value there. Save that. And so now that we have our custom theme options here, we'll need to actually import it to our app. So if you go back to the documentation to do that, you'll need to make use of this theme provider component. So we will just copy this line right here, and inside our actually in the index.js, we'll go in here, paste that, and then we will also, before I forget, I need to export default this, so we'll export default, the theme, save that, and then in here we'll go ahead and make use of our theme provider. and then we're going to wrap our app component, or wrap our app component inside there. So also we'll need to pass in a theme prop, and the value will be the theme JS file there. And we'll save that. Let's see if we have any issues. So theme is not defined inside index.js. And okay, so before I need to import that, so import theme from the theme. There we go. Okay, so that looks like it's working. So next thing we'll start building out then is the page. So first thing we'll create will be the nav bar. So if we go back to the documentation, you can see that we have a AppBar component, and we'll be using that. So we'll be using this one right here. And with Material UI React, you have the option of styling your components inline or within the same file. To do that, you'll make use of the make styles function from this package here. And basically, you'll invoke that function, and you'll have access to your theme as an object with all of its properties. And then in here, you'll just insert all of the different styles that you want, and we'll set it to a variable. And then in here, we'll just invoke it, set it to a variable called classes, and then inside our markup, we can add those class names inside the components where we want to use it. And so we'll be, for our app bar, we're just going to be customizing the background color. So we'll be creating a property for the app bar there. So let's go ahead and copy some of this. So we'll go ahead and copy the app bar right there. And we'll get rid of this markup that we have. Copy that. And remove this code here that we won't be using. And we'll just leave the typography. Go ahead and change this to blog. And we won't need this. Okay. And so then we can copy, let's see, we'll just copy from make styles down to typography and paste that. And then we'll just go ahead and copy this, paste that. We'll get rid of these properties that we are not using, and we'll set our own, call it AppBar, set that equal to an object, and give this a background color of a hex of 3 Fs. And then inside the app component, we can just copy this right here. Okay, cool. So then we're going to make use of this AppBar property on our AppBar component. So in here we'll add the class name property, set that equal, and then add curly braces, and then we'll do classes, and on that classes object we'll add the AppBar. So now those styles will be applied to the AppBar. And also for the typography, for the text, we're going to make use of the color property, and we'll give this a string of primary. And since, if you remember in our theme, we set the primary color to that purplish color, so automatically this primary will be set to that. If we hadn't set that in our theme, it would have defaulted to the, I believe it's a different kind of purple, I'm not sure, or blue, but yeah. And so we can save that. And let's go back, and there is our blog and our navbar there. Cool. So let's go ahead and build out the, build out this hero section there. So under AppBar, we're going to create another, add another component. This is called box. So this is the equivalent. You can think of it as a div, but the Material UI equivalent. So you have a few properties that are handy when you're using this box. So we have box, and inside box we'll just add another box, and then let's see, so we're going to do React blog, Okay. And we're also going to add styles to this box, so we'll just give this a class name. And that'll be, let's do classes dot hero, and we'll be creating that as well. So up here, we're going to add another property, call it hero. And then for that, we're going to add the styles of background, image, and going to do backticks. So we're going to do linear, gradient, and we'll do RGBA, do 0, 0, 0, oops, sorry, 0, comma, 0, comma, 0, and then give it an opacity of 0.5, and then we'll give it another RGBA, and as well we'll give it 0, 0, 0, 0.5 for the opacity. Okay, and the next thing we'll add after that will be the image URL. So we'll add the URL there, and we'll do parentheses. Inside here, we'll do single quotes, and we're going to add a photo. So I'm just going to copy this link. And this image URL, I got it from unsplash.com. You can get a lot of really good quality photos for free. So copy that. And let's see, so we have that set up. So let's save that and go back to our app. And box is not defined, so we forgot to import it. Let's go ahead and import it real quick. Let's see, I believe it's just going to be like that, so we'll just do box, save it. Okay, so yep, so we still need to add a few more styles to make it look better. Okay, next we'll add a height of 500 pixels, and then a background position. So let's see, background position. We're going to set this to center. Background repeat. Set that to no repeat. Background size. That will be cover. As well as position. Set this to relative. Now we're going to do a display of flex. Justify content, and this will be center. So we're going to center the text in the middle of that div, and then align items, also be center. Color, we'll just set that to a hex of white, 3 Fs, and let's see, font size, we'll give this, let's give this 4 rem. Okay, that looks good. Let's go ahead and save that, see how it looks. There we go. Cool. So there's our hero image, and it's looking good so far. So now the next thing we'll build out will be the articles section. If we go back to our page, we're going to build this area out. And yep, so we'll be building out these card components for these images. I'm using some free images from pexels.com, and I have them referenced here, so I can just copy them over. You can use whatever images you want, so I'll just be using these. So let's go back. So let's get started. So under the box here, so under the hero image, we're going to go ahead and add a component, call it container. And before I forget, I'm going to remove this app.css styling. We won't be using that. And we can remove the logo as well. So the container, so this will be the container for that whole section. And this container will have So this is a material UI component, and we can add some props to it. First prop we'll add will be max width. So we'll give this a max width so it doesn't have a max width larger than LG, which is for large. And we'll also add a class name. We're going to give this a class name of classes.blogs container. And we'll copy this, go back up here, define it right here. And in blogs container, we're going to add padding top. So we want to add some padding at the top. And then we'll make use of theme.spacing. So theme is a parameter in here. And spacing is a method. So we can give this, invoke it, pass in a value. So we'll give it a number of 3. So that'll give us some spacing there. And then we can just reuse this throughout our styles so that our styles can be consistent. So we have theme.spacing there, so that'll be 3. And then, let's see, so then after that, we should be good there. So down here then we can go inside container, and we'll go ahead and copy typography. So this will be the title of this section, which was articles. And we can change this variant. We'll change this to H4, and then we can remove the color primary. Let's see. Okay, so we'll also add a class name. So this one will be called blog title. Go ahead and copy that. Go back up here. We'll define that. We'll add some custom styles here as well. And we want to also add some padding for this. So for blog title. Also, we'll add some font weight. So we'll add a font weight. And then $800. And then we'll add padding bottom. And we'll make use of theme.spacing again, pass in 3. Okay, so let's move this little space here. Alright, let's save that, and let's see, I believe we need to import some of these components. Let's import container. I believe that should be it for now. Save it. Let's go back. Alright, there's our title. Looks looking good. Now here we'll start building out the actual grid for the list of card components. So we'll create a grid component. So this one will be the container grid. So we can just add the container property there. And then we'll add spacing. So for our grid, we want it to have some spacing of 3. And then let's just copy this. And now here, so we have the grid container, so now we're going to have the grid item. So we'll change that to grid item. And then we can, let's see, remove this. And now we're going to add some properties to make sure that they are styled or they collapse appropriately depending on the window size. So we're going to add for extra small sizes, we'll add XS. And we want to give this a value of 12, so it'll expand the whole 12 columns. And then for small devices, we'll just have it be 6, so this will be equal to 2 columns. 6 plus 6 is 12. And then for the medium, we'll go ahead and add a value of 4, so that'll be equal to 3 columns. Okay, and so then let's go here. Okay, cool. Alright, so we have the grid items. Let's go ahead and just copy this. So we're going to have, let's see, how many did I have here? So we had about 4, so let's just go ahead and copy this. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright, cool. So inside the grid item, we're going to then add the card component. So now we'll actually start building out the card. And so before I forget, let's import grid. Save that. get any errors. Nope. Okay. Now we'll start building out the card component. So we have card, and for card, let's actually go to the documentation here. So we're going to make use of the documentation, and it looks like we're going to be using, I believe it's this one. So yeah, let's go ahead and copy this one here. So we're going to make use of this, so we'll just copy this and customize it as we go along. So we'll start up here and copy all of that. Okay. Let me just reformat this real quick. So up at the top here, we'll change class name.root. We'll just call this card. And then for card media, we can leave that one as is. And then for image, we're going to make use of our first image here. Let's copy that. Paste that in there. So card content, we're going to change this title. Let's change this to React use context. And let's just leave this as is for now. And under card actions, let's see, card actions, we aren't going to use this, so we'll be, this area will be adding the avatar information. So let's just save this as is for now. And actually, let's add our classes.card and classes.media. So classes.card, let's go up here, copy that. So for classes.card, we're going to add some styles. Classes.card will have a max width of 100%. And let's go here. And then for the media, media will have a height of 240. So that'll be the height of the image in the card. Let's save that. Alright, now let's make sure we import some of these. So we're going to import card, card actions area, card media. So let's go here. So card. So this was card actions area. I believe we had card actions and card media. I think we also had card content. Okay, I think that should be good. Let's just double check. Yeah, so let's go ahead and go back and go to the app. Alright, so everything is looking good. So there's our image, there's our title, and some description. Next thing we'll start building will be the avatar section. So that will be this section right here with the avatar image, the name, date, and this bookmark icon. So inside card actions, we're going to add a property. For this one, it'll be, actually we're going to add a class name, and we'll call this classes.cardActions. And let's go to the top here. Card actions. And for card actions, we're going to give this a display of flex, and then we're going to give it a, let's see, a margin of top bottom 0 and left right 10 pixels. Let's see here, okay. And then we're going to justify content space between. Okay, so that'll be the container for that area. And let's go back down here. So inside card actions, we're going to add a box component. And so this will be the div, and for this box we're going to add a property of, or actually a class name. We're going to set this equal to classes.author, and then for author we're going to give this a styling of display flex again. And so what we're doing here is we're going to give this whole area here a display flex, and we're making this area also a div, a box. So this outer div that's containing everything is a display of flex, and we're doing a space between this and this, so that way they're spread apart. And we're also going to make another div container, and this will also be flex. So then we're going to have the avatar here and then the info there, so that'll be displayed like that evenly. So that's why we're adding another display flex here. And then let's go back down here. Okay. And so inside box, we're going to add a component called avatar. So let's add that. And for avatar, we're going to give this a source. This will be equal to the URL of the image. And we're going to use this one. Let's copy that and paste it in there. And we don't actually need this avatar, we'll just give this a backslash. Let's go ahead and save it. And before I forget, we need to import, let's see, I think we just need to import avatar, so let's go ahead and do that. And let's go back. Okay, so there's our avatar. Cool. And after that, we're going to then add another box here. So let's just copy this. And we're going to give this box, we're not going to give this a class name, we're just going to give this a property, and the property for this will be margin left equal to 2. And inside this box, we're going to add some typography. Let's just copy this, paste that in there. And for this typography, we're going to, we're going to give this typography a variant of subtitle. So that will just be subtitle, and this will be subtitle 2. And then we're going to give the component will be a p tag, and the name will be Guy Clemens. Okay. And we're going to add another one, so this one will be for the date. So that one is going to be also a variant of subtitle 2. The component will be also a p tag. We're going to give this a color though. Give this a color of text secondary. Alright. And for this will be the date, so we'll do May 14th, 2020. Let's save that and go back. Okay, there we go. So there's our text, and it's looking good so far. And now we'll add the bookmark icon. And so down here, so we're going to be inside cart actions, and after this first box, we're going to add another box, so another div basically. And then if we go back to the Material UI documentation page, let me see. So I'm going to be using, let's see, so under icons, and there is a list here that you can see all the Material UI icons that you could use. So for ours, we're going to be using Bookmark icon. Oops. So we'll be using this one, and you can just copy this import, go back, and paste that in there. Okay, and now we can make use of this component. Let's just copy that. Inside here, we'll add in our component. Okay, and we'll go ahead and save that. I think we should be good. Let's go ahead and look back at our page. Alright, so as you can see, here is our card, here's our text, and our avatar, the name, date, and the bookmark icon. And so now we can go ahead and just copy this and just paste it inside each of these grid items. Save that, go back, and as you can see, here are the card components. And we can go ahead and just change the images, so let's just do that real quick. So we'll copy that, change this to this one, then we'll make use of this image for the avatar, and that'll be down here. Okay, I'm just gonna go over this real quick so you don't have to see me copy and paste all of this. Alright, so I copied all the images over, and so here are the new images updated. So as you can see, we have all of our card components here. And you can go ahead and just change the title here, the text title and the description, so you don't have to watch me do it. But yeah, basically you'll just go to your card component, and inside React use context, where it says here, you'll just update that. So I can just do one here real quick. So here's another one, just copy that. And now we have React router there. So this is all static, so it's not being dynamically rendered. So if we had a dynamically rendered site, we would just grab that data and replace this with some dynamic content. But for this use case, we're just using static. And yep, so that's looking good. And okay, so now let's go ahead and look at this on mobile real quick. So if we click here on mobile, as you can see, we have our articles. They're still looking pretty good on mobile. The only thing I want to do is I want to actually update this hero to be a little bit smaller when you see it on mobile. And so to do that, what we're going to do is we're actually going to go back to our hero styles. So under hero, we're going to add another property here. And so this property, we're going to add square brackets. And in here, we're going to make use of the theme parameter. So we'll do theme dot breakpoint. I'm sorry, not capital, but breakpoints dot down. And that's a method, and we'll invoke it, and inside we'll pass in a string of SM. And then in here we're going to add, let's see, so in here we're going to add a height of, I guess we can just do 300, and we'll change the font size to 3M. Save that. So what's happening is whenever our window gets smaller and we reach a breakpoint of small, and whenever it's small, size of small or less, then we're going to apply these styles. So if we go back to our page, you can now see that our hero image actually got smaller. So let's actually make that smaller ourselves. So as you can see right there, you see the difference there. It's getting a little bit smaller than what it was. And our articles are collapsing as well, as you can see. So let's look at iPad. So it's already smaller right there. iPad Pro. I think it's about the same, but yep, so yep, it looks a little bit better. And then we go to our desktop view. It's a little bit bigger. Okay, and lastly, we're just going to add another component here. We're just going to add this paginate component. So for that, we just need to go to the Material UI, go to pagination, and we're going to, let's see, so we're going to use, I believe it's this one. Okay, yep, I believe it's this one, so we'll just go in here, and we'll need to import pagination from Material UI pagination. Go up here, and then down at the bottom, we're going to add it after our grid. So after the grid container, we're going to add another box component, so another div. And inside here, actually for the box component, we're going to add my, and I believe that's going to be a margin top and bottom. So we're going to add 4 there, so give it equal spacing on the top and the bottom. Going to add some custom class here, so we'll do classes.pagination container, and then in here we'll add the pagination component. For this pagination component, we'll add a count of, let's just do 10. Let's copy this and add it up here. And then for the style for the pagination component, we're just going to add, let's see, we'll add display flex, justify content, center. Save that, go back. So we'll need to import at Material UI lab, so we'll copy that, and we'll just do an npm I at Material UI lab. So once we install that, and now you can see that we have this pagination bar. Of course, it's not working, but yep, so that is looking good. So that is a project, everyone. I hope you all found it useful to kind of get a little bit more familiar with Material UI React and how to use it. If you enjoyed this project, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this, go ahead and subscribe. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a good day.